Good day, my fellow Americans, and also you liberals. Democrats are so quick to point fingers at conservatives and or Republicans and use a double standard that what we do is wrong, and yet when they do it, it is fine. And the left-wing media is there to help them by not reporting when the Democrats do the same thing. The left-wing loons, liberals, Democrats, snowflakes, or as I like to say, Dem fascists, they claim to be the tolerant party, but they are anything but tolerant. Disagree with them, and they are the most violent party in America. Yet they claim President Trump and his supporters are the violent ones. Sarah Palin is suing the New York Times for blaming her that she inspired the 2011 shooting of Democratic Representative Gabby Giffords by a politically correct term of a mentally ill man, or in everyday speak, a nutcase, all because of a map with crosshairs depicting what states Republicans need to target to win back or maintain. There is no evidence to support the New York Times implication that Palin played a role in inciting the Giffords shooting. However, if posting a map with crosshairs on it is inciting or inviting violence, then how can the New York Times be so biased as not reporting when the Democrats did the same thing twice before Sarah Palin did it? Democratic Congressional Campaign Committee and the Democratic Leadership Council both did the same thing to the Republicans. A map not with crosshairs, but with bullseyes, like a bow and arrow target, depicting the states Democrats feel they can win back that George Bush won by a narrow margin. At a campaign event, President Trump, or then candidate Trump, said in the old days he'd be brought out in a stretcher, referring to a heckler that was taken out by police. And the media was all over that about how violent that could incite violence, that behavior. However, on 14th of June 2008, in Philadelphia, at a fundraising event, Senator Barack Obama was talking about the Chicago way, and he mentioned, if they bring a knife to the fight, we bring a gun. Can you imagine if Donald Trump said that? But because Barack Obama said it, it's absolutely fine. Democrats are very violent. You don't see this coming from Republicans. You might remember 4 thugs who kidnapped and attacked and tortured a white male victim and recorded the horror. The bound and gagged kidnapped victim is repeatedly kicked and hit while forced to denounce white people and President-elect Donald Trump. How about George Soros-funded violence? Paid protesters at Trump events during his campaign. They were greeted, Trump supporters, eggs, and even one point a gentleman was hit in the back of the head with a bag of coins, causing his head to bleed. And an entire event at Chicago, because of Democrat violence, was closed down just before it began. Or how about the Democrat protesters that were breaking glass doors and starting fires at Berkeley to violently protest Milo Yiannopoulos and stop his First Amendment right to free speech? And it was not the protesters' First Amendment right to protest. No. They gave that up when that became violent, as the First Amendment says, peaceably to assemble. You may remember around Christmas time, a Drexel professor tweeted, "All I want for Christmas is white genocide." Democrats are violent. How about a teacher in class pretending to shoot Trump with a water pistol in front of her students? No teacher did that with an image of Obama. Can you imagine if she did? By the way, it's kind of ironic since the students can't even eat a Pop-Tart nowadays in the shape of a gun and play pow with it without being suspended. Cops and robbers, cowboys and Indians, all a thing of the past. How about Phil Montag, Nebraska Democrat Party official, who said he was glad House Majority Whip Stephen Scalise got shot last week and wishes Scalise was dead. Much of the media was always reporting on Trump supporter violence, and in each turn, one by one, they were all debunked. Here's a few. You might remember a Houston, Texas Muslim was charged for burning down his own mosque. A Houston, Texas Muslim was charged with arson on his own mosque on Christmas Day. He pleaded guilty to felony arson and was sentenced to prison. The media was quick to say it was a Trump supporter and feed the narrative of violent Republicans. And he only did it. He only burned down his mosque to frame Donald Trump supporters. A man was arrested and charged with burning an African-American church in Greenville, Mississippi, and marking the outside walls with "Vote Trump." The Mississippi State Police arrested Andrew McClinton, 45-year-old gentleman, and charged him with first-degree arson of a place of worship. McClinton set fire to the Hopewell Missionary Baptist Church on November 1st, a week before the election, just to try to sway people from not to vote Trump. See how violent Trump supporters are? They burned down my church. And it was him who did it. How about a video of a group of teenage thugs attacked a man in the streets of Chicago because they believed he voted for President Donald Trump? The video showed the victim being pushed to the ground and getting repeatedly kicked by two assailants while others cheered in the background, "Don't vote Trump." When the victim tries to stand, the Democrat thugs wail away with punches to his face. Did conservatives and Republicans do this to Obama supporters? Oh, and by the way, when Obama was president, I never thought an awful lot about blowing up the White House. Nor would I wear a female genitalia hat, especially with children around. But I digress. And of course the liberal lunatic that shot Senator Scalise and others at the baseball practice. He was a fan of MSNBC and Rachel Maddow. And what if it was a Republican lunatic targeting Democrats? The media would still be talking about it. But what the media doesn't tell you is more often than not all the time, but more often than not, when there is a mass killing or mass killing attempt, it is usually a Democrat or a liberal. Other than a radical Muslim attack like at the Pulse nightclub or in California. However, I bet those Muslims vote Democrat, not Republican. There are many more examples, but the point is made. Where are the videos of conservatives shooting Democrats, kidnapping Obama or Hillary supporters and kicking them? Where were the violence at the Obama or Hillary campaign events by conservatives? It is only the left that partakes in violence, all under the guise that it is the Republicans' fault that makes them resort to such measures. They made us do it. They called the GOP fascists, but they can't see what they have become, that they are the fascists. They are evil. The Democrats are the party of evil. And so is the destroyed Trump media. They are also evil. They have no intent to tell the positive truth of what Trump has accomplished, and he has accomplished a great amount of things very quickly. But what I hear from Democrats is he hasn't done anything because they're not being told. The media they listen to is like Chicken Little and the sky is falling. They just twist any good he does into a negative story and just continue down the road of Russian collusion or obstruction of justice. But that boomerang effect is there. Every time they try to point a finger to Trump, it comes back that they're the ones with the collusion, that they're the ones that are obstructing justice. And I'm sure there's going to be more to come. Recently, Donald Trump tweeted a tweet about Morning Joe and Mika. They were saying how Trump is deranged, mentally unstable, destroying America. So Trump tweeted something back, fighting fire with fire, yet the media came down on Trump. Never mind the horrible things Mika was saying about the president. So the media is now asking if Trump's tweets could be dangerous to the media in the way it may incite violence toward reporters, and they could be hurt or worse. Yet they have no concern that they're pandering to the Democrat base with lies and fake news about Trump, that it could inspire violence to Republican supporters or Republican politicians like we've seen at the baseball field. The media could care less if what they spew causes life-threatening crimes to Republicans or conservatives. It was Lyndon Baines Johnson who said, "If one morning I walked on top of the water across the Potomac River, the headline that afternoon would read, 'The President Can't Swim.'" And that's what's happening to Donald Trump. Thanks for watching. Click or subscribe, or both, below, and feel free to comment. And if you are in disagreement, your comments are also welcome. But please don't use foul language as you liberals love to do. Politics should be for everyone, even those that are too young to vote. So keep it clean. God bless America and President Trump, and to all of you who know what real patriots are. Thanks for watching. I'm Patrick Henry.